Summer of 2011. I have a band called Crystal Lotus. We're a blues-based jam band. We decide that we are going to drive 600 miles from Allentown, Pennsylvania to Lake Winnipesaukee, New Hampshire, specifically Laconia, for the Laconia Bike Week, third biggest bike festival in the country. And we're going to play a show on somebody's property. We pack all of our equipment, which is enough to put on another Woodstock, into a 26-foot gooseneck trailer behind a big-ass pickup truck and head up to New Hampshire. So we get to New Hampshire, arrive at Mike Foot's house. We've got old hippie with extreme ADHD. There's literally goats running around, dogs barking, gunshots often. Perfect chaos. This guy lets everybody who he knows camp out on his land, so there's a huge campground full of his friends and whatnot, people barbecuing and everything. It's right off of the main drag. We are in the thick of it, right down by Weirs Beach, where all the bikers are, close to 100,000, maybe even more. And so we go and finally get Mike all in one piece to grab the tent. He starts setting up the tent. We back up the trailer, start unloading. Sound equipment comes off first. We start setting up the PA. Takes a couple hours. We've got me on guitar. We've got a drummer. We've got a singer, organ player, and my buddy who came with us, who is also another guitar player. And we're gonna probably play 3, 4, 5 hours. Who cares? Noise ordinance is not a big deal during this weekend. It's pretty much a controlled chaos, if you will. So we start getting the band equipment out of the trailer, amps off, PAs set up, start setting the stage on the tent, under the tent, and guitar players, all my stuff set up. Then we start getting the drums off, and all of a sudden we set up the drums. Well, drummer looks at us and says, "I don't have a snare drum." Well, the problem with that is, of course, that it's literally the only part of a drum set that you pretty much cannot put on a show without. You need a bass drum and a snare, number one. Cymbals, I can make it work, whatever. You need a damn snare drum. So everybody starts fighting. People are yelling at each other, calling people expletives and whatnot. Tempers are flaring. Obviously we can't drive 600 miles back to Allentown, and we have no snare drum. All of a sudden, Mike Foot, crazy person that he is, God love him, comes up to us and says, "I think I have a solution." So we're thinking to ourselves, how the hell are we going to put on this show? People are starting to show up. Dinner's done. It's starting to get dark out. We've been setting up all day. This is the last thing. Everything else is set up. We don't have a snare drum. We start making calls. Mike goes, "No, don't call anybody. We're going to find a snare drum." All of a sudden, boom. Somewhere in this pile of treasures, if you will, a snare drum appears. Of course, Mike Foot is the only person to have a snare drum without any musical knowledge. Many people show up. We have a good time. Warrant, a terrible 80s band, was playing up the street. We outplayed Warrant, who thought they were awesome and louder than us. And we outplayed Warrant, which is a pretty good feeling. We played about 3-4 hours. We had a snare drum, not the greatest snare drum. And that drummer was never let go of that one for the rest of his days. Always a point of making fun of him for it. So, show went off without a hitch, and that was about it. Good times.